Alright, hello YouTube, and welcome back to our little session of tutorial videos. My friend had asked me, after he had saw how to texture things properly. I still have this, by the way. I haven't done anything with it lately. He asked me, how do we use a UV map properly then? Because I did it sort of an improper way. Because what I did was, instead of using the UV map the way the UV map should have been used, I had used it as though it was separate pictures all on different parts of the box. And the reason why is because this is a simple object. If I had wanted to use the UV map the way a UV map is designed to be used, I would have done that, but with a more complex object, because that's what UV maps are actually for. They're for something that is really complex, or something that is organic, like a human or a monster or anything that's actually living. UV maps are really good for. But I'll make an example of what a UV map is, and I'll get one done. So I'm going to do this here. I'm going to see if I can even remember how to do it. I'm pretty sure I can. So you select all the polygons you want, and under map we go to make UV map, and here's where it does get more advanced. You see, I don't want any of you newbies, if you will, to start using UV maps, because they are a lot more complex when it comes to higher polygon objects. Stick with just naming different objects or different parts of the object, and then just texture it that way. But what you can do is, we can call this cereal box. You can keep initial value checked. Now map type is what's important. So planar, that's similar to what we have here under, let's say front. We have it set to planar here, as you can see, and you can see we can set it to UV, but we have it set to planar. I didn't reset it, did it? No, it didn't. And you can see that it has a locked axis. So if I change that, you'll notice that it messes it up slightly. And that's with good reason too. In this case, what it will do is it will create the UV map based off of sort of what axis you're in. So if I say Z, it will create an image that looks like this, right? So these polygons will actually be flat on the UV map, and same with these polygons, and the rest of the polygons will be flat. But the front one and the back one will be sort of facing front. They'll be the way they're supposed to be. If I say Y, then all of the polygons along the sides here will be flat, but these ones will be visible. And X would be this way, of course. And you'll see what I mean by that, because UV maps are a bit confusing. Now the map type we're actually going to be using is called Atlas. And you'll notice that once we get rid of Atlas, our axis disappears. And there's a reason for that. An Atlas will take all of these polygons and put them separately, but keep them flat. So it's almost as if it's doing planar, but it's doing it from all axes. And you'll see what I mean. Everything else we can keep what we have, and then we'll just click create. Alright. Now what we're going to have to do is create a full name for this. So it's called cereal. Set to smoothing, of course. and then we basically reset it, but we have serial instead. And now instead, when we go to texture, we're going to go to from planar to UV. UV map is going to be serial box. And we're actually going to have to change one of our views. For this one, I'm going to change the top view here. I'm going to go to UV texture. And then I'm going to zoom in. Now you may notice already what's going on here. What is this? Well, this is our UV texture that we just made. We can see under here, there it is. So if I switch to none, it disappears. If I go under here, so under texture, you can click new. That's another way of creating another UV map. And you just activate it like that, and it'll appear. So this is our UV texture. So what Atlas has done is it's taken every single one of these polygons and sort of placed them all separately. Now, if we actually take a look at our picture that we had, God forbid if I can remember where that was. Ah, yes. You'll notice that it's kind of in the same format. Well, you can see right along here. You can see that there's a front, there's a back. It's all sort of set up the same. That's why a UV texture goes with a UV map. So we've got this Atlas map, and all we have to do is take this texture and fit it to the Atlas map. So let's do that. So we have our texture editor open. Remember, we got to this from here to here. And all we have to do now is take the image and we load in that. Then we from here, UV texture from here, we go none to serial box. Sorry, I'm getting a bit wheezy. Alright, so now all we have to do is find our polygons. You can't really see the polygons here because they have white lines, but they do have red dots for the corners, so they're a bit visible, but we won't even have to worry about that. Now, here's an interesting thing about UV maps. If I select the front here, I'm actually selecting the front inside of this window as well. However, if I press T and I move this, it will move the entire thing. It will deform our object. However, the thing about a UV map is if I take the polygon that's inside the UV map and to move the polygon that's inside the UV map here, it does not interfere with our box's shape. And the reason why is because we're not physically moving the object. We're simply moving where the texture is projecting. So now all it is a matter of, let's stretch it. Now you'll notice this is actually flipped. In order to do that, let's just rotate it. Actually, I'm not too sure how I'm supposed to do that. Whoops. Hold on, let me think. How am I supposed to flip this texture here? I'm trying to think of a way to do it. Which is a bit weird. I've never encountered that type of issue before as to why this is flipped. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure how to, well, I guess I know one way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this edge here, I've honestly never encountered this issue before. It's supposed to just generically project it, but it's sort of flipped, which is kind of odd. See if it's something to do with the object. It can't be the object, because the way UV maps work is that it's not going to affect the texture. Very unusual. Regardless, I did say that this is not exactly the method you would use for a simple object. You would use it for a complex object. Specifically something that doesn't have writing on it, so that would be one good reason as to why I would not recommend this. Yeah, as you can see, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. It's not even worth the time. I was doing better, just the way I was working it in the first place, than I am doing it this way. So that's the right way. So it's like this polygon here has to be rotated almost. I wonder if I flipped it and then double-sided it. No. God, that's weird. I'll honestly never figure out how to solve that issue, because I don't use UV maps that often, but I've never actually encountered that issue anyways. I'm gonna have to look into that, why it's doing that. But like I said, this is not the way to do it. It's not a good example, because it's simply just, it's not a it's not complex. It's complex enough. It's not generic enough. Like if I wanted to do a person's skin, maybe not skin, but a person's jacket or a shoe, I can imagine a UV map is a really good way of doing it. But a box is too simple. It just is. A box is way too simple. You can literally name each side and you'll do it faster than you will doing it this way. So I recommend you guys just do it do it the basic way. Another way you could have done it is well, I suppose you couldn't have done that. Yeah, you could have tried multiple layers. So if I switch this back to planar, put it on, and then we just continue adding image maps for each side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Let me apply it to all of them. If you just want to make it so that you didn't take up as much space under this area, I would recommend doing it this way as well. Is you can just use multiple layers like this, and then it just becomes a matter of, oh, that's what I thought was going to happen. If I change the blending mode to additive, no. If I change the blending mode to additive, no. If I change the blending mode to Photoshop overlay? No. There's some way to just add it to it. Reload it? No. God, this thing can be a huge nuisance sometimes. Multiply? No. I know there's supposed to be a way to just simply have it show up, but I guess it doesn't want to. But honestly, yeah, I just recommend doing it this way. It's easier, it's quicker. But, yeah. So that's how I would do that. I wouldn't bother using a UV map for something so simple. I would use it for something more complex, believe it or not. So anyways, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to go towards my layout tutorial, which should be out pretty soon if it's not already out. I hope you guys enjoyed this pointless video, but it did teach you not to use UV maps for non-UV map objects because it's a waste of time. And yeah, aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video somewhat, and please do tune in for more. This is The Guardian signing out.